Tammy Bruce of the Independent Women's Voice, she's the president, host of Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation, was watching this carefully today. She joins us tonight for a recap. What did you think of this, Tammy?
Well, it's awful, isn't it? For the nation, it's awful. It's a sign of how far we have fallen. It's clearly an indication that Nancy Pelosi, with Donald Trump's help, has lost that fight with the squad. She was, of course, herself called, the inference was that from Ocasio-Cortez that Nancy Pelosi was a racist for simply disagreeing and criticizing them for their vote against border aid, aid for the border facilities. And then that fight began. What we then saw, though, was Nancy Pelosi really trying to marginalize and move them away from being the face of the Democratic Party. And that is in part, we believe, because of an internal Democratic poll that became public through Axios that indicated that, in fact, these four women are not part of a movement. They are not liked. It was a poll of Trump swing voters, people that the Democrats need to win back. And the approval rating of, like, Ilhan Omar was at 9%, of Ocasio-Cortez, 22%. Socialism is toxic as a discussion and as an issue. And there was suddenly a realization that these people are dangerous for the future of the party. Now, you would know that if you weren't in a coma. The politicians need polls to show them. But this is why suddenly, and even Representative Clay chimed in from Missouri, saying that they're effectively immature and ignorant. And then suddenly enter Donald Trump. And with his tweets, bringing back this argument of the nature of what is going on in the Democratic Party and forcing the Democrats to once again embrace them. And it just shows you the lack of control Nancy Pelosi has. She must have known that this is what was going on. The president is always underestimated. Yes, David Axelrod called his approach cold and hard. Well, you know what? The future of the country is at stake. And all of our futures with our families is at stake. And I expect the president to be cold and hard in making sure that Americans know exactly what's going on. He's done that. It was chaos on the floor, and it's an indication of the chaos that Democrat leadership brings.
It's a really remarkable story to watch it unfold live. I have to ask you, by the way, speaking of stories unfolding live, late breaking news here. Planned Parenthood has just fired its president. Her name is Leanna Wen.
That's right.
She was on the job just 10 months. In a statement, she suggested that she was pushed out because she wanted Planned Parenthood to focus on being a healthcare organization instead of a political outfit focused on promoting abortion. Also, we're learning tonight that apparently, according to BuzzFeed, Wen was unpopular because she refused to use, quote, trans-inclusive language and referred to women as women rather than people.
What a shock.
What do you make
of
this?
She also, in her letter leaving, her resignation letter that was open public on Twitter, she wanted to find common ground with Americans who care about health care and not have it be about the politics of abortion. Now, that's another crime, of course. Right. This is the same circle firing squad that we saw unfold in the House. This is what liberals and Democrats are doing to each other now, that there is it's a zero-sum game, that there is such a reservoir of bitter hatred, because that's what they promote politically. Yeah, everyone's a racist, and if everyone is, well, then, you know, my friend I'm sitting next to over here is a racist. And that there can be no part given to the issue of finding common ground with Americans in general. Dr. Wen's a medical doctor, and there's a suggestion, obviously, here that maybe politics is not what Planned Parenthood should be doing. That's what Americans also believe. Dr. Wen will be proven correct here, and it's time, I think, for the federal government especially to see Planned Parenthood not as a recipient of its largesse and grants, and that they're the political organization that we believe them to be.
Of course. Of course. $500 million in taxpayer funds every year.
That's right.
Tammy Bruce, thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.